Hey everyone, how is everyone doing today? My name is Gina and I am doing great. Okay, last box. Oh my gosh. Woo! Okay, before I get into the review, let's go over what is in the box, okay? So, as always, you get a card to let you know what you're supposed to get, which I love, 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 love that. All right, so we're to get a ski tag, which I have right here. We're to get a chocolate bar, and because you know it's 100 million degrees here, mine melted, and of course it re-solidified or whatever you want to call it. So we got chocolate, a chocolate bar. We have a bank receipt. It's in here somewhere. We got that with a message on the back. We have a flyer. We have 2 letters. One is in here, and then one is in this envelope that I had to rip open. It got all stuck together. So we have that letter, and then we have another letter in there. And we have a FBI agent note. It's in this envelope here. And we have 2 newspaper articles. All of that is what's in the box. Okay, let's go with the review, shall we? Okay, it did not take me long at all to do this box, probably an hour. Yeah, probably an hour, if that. But I'm okay with that because, it tied it up so very nicely. I will say, I was wrong with who I thought killed Victoria. I was wrong in that. But I was right as far as why she was killed. So it's a very nice, interesting story. I like the way how this box tied everything all together up, and it felt very satisfying. I don't feel like I was gypped. I don't feel like, what do you mean that? I mean, everything that was told, we learned through all these boxes. It wasn't like the writer took liberties and created something that had never even been touched on, which I had experiences before in other boxes that I've done, where some things weren't even told, and you're like, wait, where did that come from? And it was just the writer elaborating on their story, but we weren't in on it. Kind of like Agatha Christie, you know, sometimes she does that too. So, and that's fine. That's their liberty to do so, and you got to kind of take it that way. But this box was not like that. Everything that was told, it all made sense to me. I wasn't lost. I wasn't confused or anything like that. And I actually loved the story. I actually was really, really sad on why Victoria died. I mean, it's almost ridiculous on why she died. And so yeah, but it all wraps up together, like all the little mysteries, like the mystery of Lydia, because that was a mystery, right? Because she was never found, her body was never found. So was she really alive? We didn't know, right? So it all came together, and I really enjoyed this whole series, this whole box. I really liked it. The only complaint that I ever had was the fact that there were too many characters to keep up with. But that's my issue. And now I'll know in the future that I need to write down, you know, more things, more people, and keep better notes as far as that is concerned. But other than that, but once after like box 3, I think box 3 is when it got really confusing, because there was really a lot of people coming into the story, and you're like, who are all these people? What are they? You know, but once after that, once it was at least the consistent same number of people, if that makes any sense. So it was still good. Now, as far as this box, this particular box goes, the only complaint I have is, you know, make sure you use your black light. I'm going to give you that hint. There's some things, and one of the things that you have to use your black light on, and I'll get more into this in the hints, I could barely read it even with the black light. It was so hard. So that was my only complaint, because before, when I had used the black light, you know, I could read everything pretty clearly, but this one, I mean, I went cross-eyed. So that was the only thing. Other than that, I love the box. I love the story. I loved how it all fit in. I was really hoping for a happier ending for James. You know, I was hoping that Victoria really was not dead and that maybe she was the one in the asylum, but that's not what happened. So it's very sad. So yeah, this might have a little bit of spoilers. Sorry, I should have said that. I'll put it down in the description, so that you'll know that there could be a little bit of spoilers. So yeah, but I loved this box, love this company, love this concept. I really enjoyed it, really. So bravo, Dispatch by Breakout, bravo. So that is my review. I highly, again, recommend it, but only if, because I had to use the computer a lot. And you have to read, you know, so if you like to sleuth, if you like to do interactive things, if you like to use deductive reasoning, logic, and all that kind of stuff, these boxes are right up your alley. If you want to just read or just do puzzles, I really don't recommend this to you. And I also don't recommend it if you want the box to be all the one thing that you're trying to do, because all these boxes, and that was well known going in, that it's a mega mystery, right? That we're having to use 7 boxes to figure out the mystery in the end. So that was well known. So I don't understand why some people were complaining about that when, I mean, you can't just, I mean, the individual boxes just give you clues. It doesn't give you the total answers, you know? And then, but the last box put it all together. So I love it. All right. So that's my review. Really enjoyed it. I'm excited for the new series to come along, which should be any day now. Because like I said, I've had these 2 boxes for, this one came, box 6 came in June, box 7 came in July. That's how long I've had these. So now I'm back in August and we're ready to rock and roll. All right, so with that said, let's get to hints, shall we? Okay, there are, I think there's 3 puzzles to this, but they're not difficult whatsoever. When I first saw the chocolate bar, again, there's going to be some spoiler hints. I'm going to try not to spoil the whole thing, but there are some spoiler hints. Make sure you pay attention to the back of the candy bar. I'm just going to give you that hint right there. So I noticed that right away. So I knew, when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Especially from past boxes. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna need to know that. Okay, so I just put that over to the side and was like, I'm gonna need that. So then I just got the flyer out because I was just looking at everything when I pulled it out. And I noticed right away that there's an Instagram thing. So I went to her Instagram page. I highly recommend that because you're going to need to know something that is on her page. If you hit her bio, look in her bio, and then you're going to figure out something. She's going to give you some information that you're going to need to further yourself along in this journey. Okay, so do that. Okay, then I saw the banking note or bank receipt, and I was like, okay, well, So So then on the back, there's this, note from James and everything, or shall I say, Robert, I believe is his real name now, Robert James Thurston. So he's like, when I saw that there was a .com, anytime I see a .com, I'm going to go there. So I immediately went there, and you're going to need your 12-digit number. And I'm like, okay. And at first, okay, big spoiler alert, big spoiler hint. There are coordinates on the back of this box. So that's numbers. And I'm like, And then if you read down here, there's numbers. And I thought, okay, well, maybe those are it. Too many numbers, not it. So then I was like, okay, well, the chocolate bar then doesn't have anything to do with this, maybe. So then I just was like, okay, well, let me just keep looking in the box because maybe there's something else. I don't know. So I waited. And then I go to the tag thing here, and I go to the back. And again, notice right away, .com. So I was like, okay, well, I need to go there. So when I went there, they want coordinates. I was like, oh, okay, well, this is where this is coming in at. So, but before I went to that, though, I went ahead and I read the letter. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Makes sense. And then I looked on the back because I always am looking for the little asterisks. Remember, he said if there were that's when you use the black light. So I used the black light on this, and y'all, it was horrible to read. I mean, I could barely read it, but I had enough. So with this letter and with the coordinates, the back light, you're going to figure out the new coordinates that you need in order to get into this website. Okay. And I'll give you this big super hint because it took me a minute to figure it out because, I don't know anything about coordinates, longitude, latitude, longitude, whatever. But it's the second number that you need to do the math on. I'll just give you that, okay? So it's the second number. It's not the first. It's not the longitude. Or is that latitude? See, I still don't even know. But anyway, it's the second number. And it's the second part of the second number that you need to do the math to. There, major hit on that. Okay, so then I read the news articles, and I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, it's just like everything was just wrapping up oh so nicely. And then I turn it over because I always look on the back side of things, always do that. I noticed another .com, so I went there, and I was like, wee. So you get a little bit more information there. Now, and then there's these two letters that these letters just give you a little bit more information. There's not really any anything that you need to use with them per se. It just gives you a little bit more understanding. It's like, it's just tying everything all together, right? So then, so I went into the banking, back to the banking account. So I was like, okay, there's got to be, because I noticed there's like a 11121, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, you get that account number here. So just really read this really well. I got 10 numbers like pretty quickly, but then the last two, I'm like, oh my gosh, what are they? So I put it to the side to kind of relax my mind, and then I brought it back up, and then I got the other two numbers. So just be aware that all 12 numbers are in this little paragraph right here. Okay. So once you get that, you go on to the bank account, and I don't believe the bank account, what did the bank account give? I don't even remember what the bank, I think it was just more letters, more just information is what that gave you. Now, when you go into this, and again, you're going to use those coordinates, that's when you got to answer questions to get to the main video. Now, I started doing that, and then one question asked, there was one question asked, and I was like, okay, I really don't quite know that number, or that answer. It's not a number. It's not a number. It's a location. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I went back to the Observer thing because on that page, here's a big spoiler alert, the psychiatric facility that someone has been in is on that page. And I was like, So I clicked on it, and sure enough, you can get in by using the patient. So if you know who's in there, all you have to do is put in their information, and it will ask you some questions that you should have gotten by this box, by all the boxes. You should have those answers. You put those in, and then these other documents come up from the patient, and then you figure out, you get a lot. You really then understand why Victoria was killed, who killed her. That was the biggest thing, was who killed her. And I was wrong, because I was just going from last box because I thought I knew. Nope. They were involved in a way, but they were not the one who actually put the hit out on her. Okay, so, and I'm going to give you this big hint. The person that did that information is in this letter right here. Okay, so read this letter really, really well, and you may just have to go back to the very first box and look at this to figure out who they're talking about. Okay, so that is that. All right, so, but then once you get into that psychiatric portal for the patient, and then you see their documents, it is just really, really, it's sad. I mean, I'm glad that this person is alive and happy, but I'm really sad that Victoria is actually dead, because I was hoping Victoria was the one who was actually alive, but she's not. She actually is dead. But James is exonerated, so yay! And we helped to get him exonerated, so yay! But in those notes, it tells you where she's going and where she can meet up with James. So once you put that information in, then the video comes in, and then James is on, and then he, tells a little bit more. And then it's kind of the very end, kind of gets you ready for the next series that's coming along. So altogether, loved it. Loved it. I can't say enough about this. I really, really liked it. Not crazy that they put math in here all of a sudden. It seemed like the last 3 boxes we had math problems to do, and I don't like math. That's my issue. I guess I need to just get over that and like it, huh? But yeah, so, but even with the math, having to do the math, it's still, this has been my favorite box. I never got tired of it. I never was like, same old, because they were, I don't think, there might have been a couple of times that we might have done the same type of puzzles, like cryptograms, but those are quite, common. But for the most part, I don't feel like it was a lot of repeating. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. It was like fresh. Every box was fresh. You might see something and you're like, oh, well, I think I know what I need to do, which, that's helpful, but it was never to the point where, oh my God, I've done this for the last 5 boxes. I'm bored now. Nothing ever like that. It was very fresh, and always, I really liked it. So I highly, highly recommend this box if you like to be a detective, which I do. I've told that story a couple of reviews ago, how I wanted to be a detective, how I played detective when I was a little girl. So anyway, all right, y'all. So that's it. On the Run is finished. I am pleased. I'm glad. I'm sad that, it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to, but I'm happy that it all came together. There was no surprises. There were no trickeries. Let's call them that. Trickeries where you're like, what? Come on. When was that even told to us? Nothing like that. It all makes sense in the end. So, all right. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you were stuck, I hope that it helped you. If you were thinking about, should I do this box? I hope that this helped you as well. I hope you enjoyed the box, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe if you've not already subscribed. And if you have, hit that notification bell. to make sure that you get a video for every time when I post. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Y'all be good to one another, and I'll talk to you later.